Hey everybody, this week on TGN is all about the joy of entering an online fantasy world with a character unique only to you. A digital world cannot be complete without the masses of people, all of them individual and customized, filling their roles within a digital society. MMOs are about interacting with other players, either by working together for a common cause or competing against each other for an adverse outcome. It is the nature of an RPG to shift your sense of reality for a time and take a step into the collective imagination. Many of today's games do this well, but only one of them can do it the best. Welcome to MMO Wars, the best MMORPG of today. It may not have been the first popular MMO in the world, but it certainly has been the biggest. Blizzard Entertainment's Warcraft franchise is their first, most recognizable, and most influential IP to date. Dating back to 1994, Warcraft made huge ripples in the RTS scene before changing the world forever by bringing the fantasy realm of Azeroth to the forefront in November of 2004. World of Warcraft spawned an entire culture generated by players worldwide, adding up to the population of a small country, boasting 12 million players in its prime, all of them paying subscription fees, which has been pivotal to the game's ongoing development. Throughout its lifespan, WoW has seen the release of 4 full-fledged expansions, each of them raising the level cap and introducing new zones to be explored, not to mention each X-Pack being accompanied by major content patches throughout its life cycle to keep players satisfied and active. A conservative guess for today's total number of hours clocked in WoW? How about 8 million years? Yeah, if you believe in science, that's about as long as the first proto-humans have been walking around on this planet Earth. Older than Homo erectus. Like it or not, World of Warcraft is the granddaddy of all MMORPGs. Every game after it has walked in the elephantish shadow of its success, hoping, wishing to add to the genre's history in the wake of such a memorable and record-setting game. But is it still the best? Blizzard has announced the release date of the latest expansion for fall of this year, taking the game back to its earliest roots, and players will travel back in time to a place before even the first game, Orcs vs. Humans, to a place called Draenor, the homeworld of the Orcs. That's a whole new, remodeled planet with remodeled characters and redesigned gameplay to boot. It tempts even the most veteran players to try another hand at this game, but with so many great games to choose from, it won't be easy for Blizzard's juggernaut to take the cake this time. In March of 2011, Tryon Worlds made its first public debut with their full-scale MMO, Rift: The Heroes of Telara. The world serves as the intersect between 6 elemental planes: air, fire, water, earth, life and death. These planes, each led by a dragon god, the manifestation of each respective element, often infiltrate the world of Telara, and it is up to the players to stop them. Rift's focal point has often been world events, which at the time were a relatively new concept, the formation of spontaneous and universally influential events that unite players to stop the threat before it becomes out of hand. Rift was the first big title to take a shot at the MMO crown after WoW, with players declaring for the Guardians or the Defiant. It offered the MMO community a fresh experience with all the features in past titles. In June of 2013, Tryon discontinued the subscription fee model, effectively making Rift a free-to-play game. Its first expansion, Storm Legion, was released in November of 2013 as a competitor to Blizzard's Mists of Pandaria. The expansion was received quite well and still offers players a unique and telling fantasy world, complete with lightly clad women and positive ratings across the board. Rift may never have surpassed World of Warcraft's legacy, but it is still a high-quality adventure for players of all types. In December of 2011, BioWare and EA unveiled their variation of the MMORPG with the official successor to the legendary Knights of the Old Republic series, Star Wars: The Old Republic. SWTOR is unique in that it harnesses arguably the most recognizable franchise in the world, trumping even Blizzard's Warcraft juggernaut, with no shortage of lightsaber-wielding Force-sensitive characters battling across the galaxy by the masses. During its time, SWTOR was the largest budget game in history with an estimated $200 million expense. It would seem the stars had aligned for the first true equal to WoW. With the prestige of BioWare's development studio and the funding of EA, SWTOR was destined for success. Despite its reception not living up to expectations, SWTOR has remained profitable throughout its release, though as a successor to KOTOR and unprecedented hype, some would say that no game could have reached a bar set so high. The game has since made the transition to free-to-play with its first expansion, Rise of the Hutt Cartel, released in April of 2013, and most recently, Galactic Starfighter was released in January of this year, which introduced player-owned starfighters, which fulfilled the at first anticipated space combat features of the game. Ultimately, for a game that made massive world PvP one of its selling points, SWTOR failed to deliver in a variety of ways, but still remains the most modern and immersive Star Wars MMO to date. If it's been your childhood dream to travel the galaxy as a Jedi Knight, then it's tough to go without trying your hand at Star Wars: The Old Republic, especially now that it's free to play. The first Korean MMO to make a splash in the West was the action-packed, giant blade-swinging, plate bikini masher known as TERA, released in May of 2012. It's abbreviated the Exiled Realm of Arborea, developed by Bluehole Studios. TERA brought a much more Asian experience to North America. It boasted neither the world size or the development resources of its competition, but it offers a different experience no less. TERA's emphasis is on traditional action game-natured combat, no doubt a result of highly advanced Korean telecom infrastructure yielding much lower latency than the worldwide audience. Although TERA never had the storytelling or character development of more established games, it remains one of the best-looking MMORPGs today, and with an unforgettable art styles and those bright, happy colors. TERA offers more than enough versatility to lose yourself in the open world, not to mention some of the most immersive combat the genre has ever seen. One of the most unique features of TERA is the option to use a PC gamepad in your gameplay experience instead of relying on the keyboard and mouse. Though it has one of the smallest communities, the TERA player base is active and international. Also, every character in this game is a supermodel, so if you're into skin and boobs, this is the game for you. August of 2012 brought with it ArenaNet's Guild Wars 2, one of the more serious MMOs. Everything about Guild Wars 2 feels real and combative. It was marketed as a traditional MMORPG, with player actions influencing every layer of the persistent world. Because of this, it feels arguably the most like a single-player RPG. Like Rift, world events are also a large part of the Guild Wars 2 experience. Giant bosses or waves of NPCs attacking faction territory or bending the world's appearance as a result of player intervention, the world of TERA is always changing because unlike a lot of the competition, Guild Wars has never relied on the subscription model. Instead, the publisher NCSoft has focused on frequently expanding the game with content patches every 2 weeks, which brings with them a ton of new features. Guild Wars is a unique experience and focuses not on building upon already tried and established norms within the MMO genre, but on its own ideas. As a result, the game has earned universal acclaim among critics. It is arguably the best-rated MMO today, and with a one-time purchase, it's hard for an RPG fan to not give it a try. It's tough to doubt a game that has 13 installments before it, all of them successful. Square Enix's Final Fantasy XIV Online, better known as XIV, is the first truly successful Final Fantasy MMO. Its official relaunch was in August of 2013, dubbed A Realm Reborn, the first on this list to simultaneously release on a console, the PlayStation 3. Because of its long history, Final Fantasy has a rich and long-lasting story. Though disjointed and confusing at times, it is a vast universe and the only true Japanese MMO available in the West today. XIV is modern proof that the subscription model is still very much alive, and has one of the most vibrant player economies in history due to its vast and complex job system. Like TERA, XIV's art style is very much Asian by comparison to a lot of the popular Western MMOs, and it's one of the most visually appealing ones available due to its modern engine design and large persistent world. WildStar, arguably the most promising MMO of this year. It's new, it's fresh, and it's solid. Carbine Studios is taking a page out of WoW's book. Go with the toony art style and your game will age well. They've got their eyes set on the long road with this game. It's the most comic MMORPG to date. It doesn't take itself too seriously and offers a lot of really personable characters in the story. This draws in the casual folks while still offering a lot of intricate endgame content for the players seeking a larger time investment in their WildStar experience. The game adapts a lot of the action game combat features from titles like Terra and League of Legends while still integrating it in a way that will suit server latency on a mass scale. This will open up a more competitive PvP experience in theory, which might torpedo WildStar into WoW's territory if all goes well. WildStar has a lot of MMO enthusiasts excited, and if it delivers, it'll fill a much-desired, fresh experience within the genre. Choose between the Exiles and the Dominion to gain control of the Centerpoint planet called the Nexus. WildStar's been designed to accommodate lovers of world PvP, raiders, RPers, and the whole online community. This year will tell if it lives up to expectations. ArcAge. Tryon, the developers of Rift, have taken it upon themselves to port this Korean MMO originally from XL Games to the West. Like Terra, it has proven its success in Asia so far, so now it's time to give Europe and the Americas a run at it. ArcAge is built in the CryEngine 3, which gives it a visual appeal unlike any MMORPG to date. It also opens up a world of opportunity for modding due to the wide use and community embrace of this engine. Honestly, ArcAge boasts more features than any MMO on the market. It has a very in-depth player economy with occupations, trade skills, agriculture, player-controlled trade, a complete naval experience where you take sailing to the open seas, even a justice system dictated by the player community. It's the closest thing we've seen yet to a next-gen MMORPG that offers something truly new since the release of World of Warcraft. Time will tell how successful ArcAge becomes, but it is headed on an upward trajectory, and the sky's the limit. Nay, the stars. PvP is one thing, but oceanic vessels packed with players bombarding each other with cannons? That's enough to tickle any MMO player's toes. ArcAge will be free to play, and will be going head-to-head with all the other online giants in 2014. ESO. Elder Scrolls Online from Bethesda. Skyrim is a game culture phenomenon, arguably the most impactful RPG to date. Players have hoped that ESO will be everything that Skyrim is, only in an MMO atmosphere. Since its release in April, ESO has received average reviews, but players would be unwise to give up on it just yet. Bethesda is working to make it worthy of the Elder Scrolls name and expand upon it to bring something unique to the MMO space. Like its predecessors, first-person gameplay is a large part of the experience. Tamriel has become a very recognizable place, which gives ESO a big advantage when deciding which MMO to buy. It takes place about 800 years before the events of Morrowind and Oblivion, making it kind of a historic piece to the franchise lore. The PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game are expected to release later this year, which could open up the player base to unseen numbers in the following years. There have yet to be any expansions announced for this game, but it's still very early in the release cycle with plenty of room to grow. Fans of the franchise may be hard-pressed to call themselves as much without trying this game. This is an epic list of games. Which of them is the best, you ask? Hell, our opinion's only one of many. These games call to us all in different ways. And the beauty of a persistent world is that it never remains the same. In 1 year, an MMO's community could change from yes to no, or from old to new. Is World of Warcraft so tried and tested that it remains the best, even after 9 years on the shelves? Or is the new and flashy ArcAge the real winner here? What about WildStar and its casual yet hardcore approach to the genre? Rift? Terra? Truly, this is for you to decide, and the MMO Wars serves only to create a better, more complete experience for you, the player, at the end of the day. Keep it tuned to TGN for more coverage of MMO Wars this week, and let us know in the comments or on Twitter which game you think deserves the MMO crown in 2014, the biggest year for the industry we've yet to see.